Good evening and welcome to this is the 14th meeting of the 14th Council of the Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Just for the information of the public, Councillor Williams is joining us by phone today. Before we get into the agenda, we have a number of proclamations that we need to read out. We have 7 today, and I've asked Council to help us out and help me out in reading those. So each councillor will read a proclamation, and I will read 2. And I will begin with World Press Freedom Day and Councillor Odell.
Proclamation, World Press Freedom Day, May 3rd, 2026. Whereas a healthy, professional news media sector is essential for the proper functioning of civil society, a democracy at the local, provincial, federal, and international levels. And whereas the United Nations has proclaimed World Press Freedom Day as an annual observance each May 3rd. And whereas according to the local news research project since 2008, more than 600 news outlets in nearly 400 communities across Canada have closed or merged compared to the launch and continued operation of roughly 264 in 193 communities. And whereas 25 municipalities in 9 provinces across Canada acknowledge World Press Freedom Day in 2025. Therefore, I, Councillor Odell, on behalf of the Mayor Bert Pomeroy of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, do hereby proclaim May 3rd, 2026 as a World Press Freedom Day in Happy Valley-Goose Bay.
Thank you, Councillor. Moving right along, Red Dress Day, Councillor Laurie Dyson, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Red Dress Day is a national awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirited people. Whereas Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people continue to experience disproportionately high rates of violence across Canada, and this ongoing crisis has deeply impacted families, communities, and future generations. Whereas Red Dress Day, observed annually on May 5th, is a powerful and visual reminder of the lives lost, the loved ones still missing, and the voices that must be heard. Whereas the red dress has become a symbol of both absence and presence, honoring those who are missing and murdered, while calling attention to the urgent need for justice, safety, and systemic change. Whereas we recognize and uplift the strength, resilience, and leadership of Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people, as well as the families and advocates who continue to seek truth, healing, and accountability. Whereas meaningful reconciliation requires ongoing commitment, education, and action from all people to address violence, support survivors and families, and ensure safer futures for Indigenous communities. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Laurie Dyson, do hereby proclaim May 5th as Red Dress Day, National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirited people in Happy Valley-Goose Bay, Newfoundland and Labrador, and encourage all residents to wear red, learn, reflect, and take part in community efforts to honor those impacted and to stand in solidarity for change.
Thank you. Next one is World Ovarian Cancer Day, May the 8th, and Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Proclamation World Ovarian Cancer Day, May the 8th, 2026. Whereas ovarian cancer has no early detection testing, and whereas ovarian cancer symptoms are often confused with other less severe illnesses, and whereas ovarian cancer has the lowest survival rate of all female cancers, and whereas as many as 23% of women with ovarian cancer have an inherited genetic mutation, and whereas genetic testing is a way to identify people at high risk before they develop ovarian cancer. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Deputy Mayor Jackie Compton Hobbs, on behalf of Mayor Bert Pomeroy, Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May the 8th, 2026, World Ovarian Cancer Day.
Thank you.
I was a little hesitant because May the 8th is Friday. I believe that should be Friday, May the 8th? And not Wednesday, am I correct there?
Yes.
Yeah, so, it's not, it's Friday, May the 8th, 2026, World Ovarian Cancer Day. I encourage all citizens of town of Happy Valley Goose Bay and the province to talk to their health providers about ovarian cancer and seek it, to learn more about the disease.
Thank you. The next one is Fibromyalgia Awareness Day, May the 12th, and Councillor Winters, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Proclamation, Fibromyalgia Awareness Day, May 12, 2026. Whereas fibromyalgia is a complex illness whose symptoms vary widely and may include debilitating chronic pain, overwhelming fatigue, and cognitive impairment, and whereas there is no known cause of or cure for fibromyalgia, and whereas Fibromyalgia Awareness Day is an opportunity to raise awareness and to show support for those living with fibromyalgia and their families, and whereas Fibromyalgia Association of Canada is the only national organization in Canada that supports both fibromyalgia research and services for people with fibromyalgia and their families, and whereas fibromyalgia affects about 5% of Canada's population, which is over 2 million men, women, and children of all ages and races are afflicted with this chronic illness, and whereas people with fibromyalgia have a right to be treated with dignity and have a right to pain relief. Therefore, I, Councillor Todd Winters, on behalf of Mayor Burt Pomeroy, on behalf of the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, do hereby proclaim May 12, 2026 to be Fibromyalgia Awareness Day in Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor, trying to figure out now which, okay, World Pulmonary Hypertension Day, and Councillor Rumble, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Proclamation, World Pulmonary Hypertension Day. Whereas pulmonary hypertension is a rare and complex lung disease which is progressive and fatal, and whereas pulmonary hypertension can strike anyone regardless of age, sex, social or ethnic background, and whereas world recognition and declaration is a step forward in the consolidation of worldwide PH awareness, World PH Day will focus on the importance of improving the life expectancy of more than 25 million people living with pulmonary hypertension, and whereas raising public awareness of a rare and serious disease such as pulmonary hypertension contributes to the social well-being of communities. This increase in public health education can lead to early diagnosis of the disease. An early diagnosis can improve the quality of life for those affected by PH. Be it therefore resolved that His Worship Mayor Burt Pomeroy and members of Council do hereby proclaim May the 5th, 2026 as World Pulmonary Hypertension Day in the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, and encourage all residents to support the Pulmonary Hypertension Association of Canada in their efforts to raise awareness, education, and hope.
Thank you, Councillor. I have two to read. First one, Melanoma and Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas it is imperative that communities across Canada be reminded of the importance of sun safety, and whereas overexposure to UV radiation is one of the major causes of melanoma and non-melanoma skin cancers, and whereas skin cancer is the most common of all cancers, 1 in 6 Canadians born in the 1990s will get skin cancer in their lifetimes, and whereas many people seek sun without taking the advisable precautionary measures and are unaware that any darkening of skin color, including a tan, is indicative of UV damage, and whereas skin self-examination should be performed monthly because skin cancers are highly treatable when detected early, and whereas Save Your Skin Foundation is dedicated to the fight against non-melanoma skin cancers, melanoma and ocular melanoma through nationwide education, advocacy, and awareness initiatives, be it therefore resolved that I, Mayor Burt Pomeroy, on behalf of the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, do hereby proclaim May 26th as Melanoma and Skin Cancer Awareness Month in the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay. The next one, Municipal Awareness Week, May the 10th to the 16th, 2026. Whereas municipal government is responsible for the provision of services that enhance the quality of life of its citizens, and whereas dedicated mayors, councilors, and staff are essential for the effective governance of their municipalities, and whereas collaboration, partnerships, and citizen involvement are essential for active, sustainable, and vibrant communities, and whereas it is fitting and proper to recognize and encourage the contribution of all who work diligently for the improvement of our municipalities, therefore, be it proclaimed that May the 10th to the 16th, 2026, be known as Municipal Awareness Week in municipalities of Newfoundland and Labrador, in recognition of the role of municipal government and in recognition of all those efforts that support it. I hereby declare May the 10th to the 16th, 2026, Municipal Awareness Week in the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move, before we get into the agenda, we need to appoint a clerk. Can I have a motion, please, to appoint Ms. Kathy Eddy as acting
motion.
clerk today? Okay, moved by Councillor Laurie Dyson, seconded by
I'll second it.
Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. No discussion? Okay, motion's carried. We'll move into the adoption of the agenda of the 14th meeting of the 14th Council of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. I'm just looking at the town clerk there. Is it the 14th meeting? The agenda says the 13th meeting.
Should be the 14th.
Should be the 14th? Okay, we can make that correction. Okay, move to, for a motion to adopt the agenda for the 14th meeting of the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Moved by Councillor Odell, seconded by Councillor Dyson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against?
Aye.
Thank you, Councillor. Passed. Okay, no delegations today. There's a bit of correspondence in our package. Trust Council's had an opportunity to review. If not, I think there's probably more have come in since the package was put together, but fair bit of correspondence this month. Okay, so we need to move to the adoption of previous minutes. A motion for the adoption of the 12th minutes of the 14th Council of Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, moved by Councillor Dyson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. None
Aye.
against. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me there, Councillor. Okay, so let's move to the adoption of the minutes of the 13th minutes of the 14th Council of Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Rumble, seconded by Councillor Odell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried. All right, we'll move into Finance, Administration, and Policy, and I will ask Councillor Rumble to please put forward a report.
Everybody having that?
Thank you, Mayor. The Town Council met on April the 14th, 2026 as Committee of the Whole. During that meeting, I presented 3 items under Finance and Administration for discussion. First, I outlined the proposed write-off of uncollectible accounts receivable in accordance with Policy 0024, noting these were interest-only balances from fiscal 2020 and prior with no reasonable expectation of recovery. I explained that all accounts were reviewed by the CAO and that the write-offs are accounting adjustments only and do not represent forgiveness of debt. I will have a large number of recommendations to follow. I then presented a similar recommendation for the write-off of doubtful accounts, explaining again that removing these balances will improve the accuracy of the town's financial records. Again, reiterating that these write-offs do not constitute debt forgiveness. Again, I will have a significant number of recommendations to follow. Finally, I introduced a donation request from Muley Mountain Collegiate's Safe Prom Committee and noted that based on past practice, it was suggested by staff to approve a cash contribution. A recommendation will follow. Director Malik of Corporate Services provided his monthly report detailing activity in his department. Corporate Services provided ongoing administrative support in payroll, benefits, staffing, and records management. Work continued on collective bargaining preparation. Key activities included maintaining HR and corporate records, supporting labor relations, discussions, and coordinating responses to external information requests. Financial administration support included work on taxation records, receipts, and documentation. Oversight of SAT responsibilities ensured continuity of service while recruitment for the position was underway. Staffing support included documentation review and transition planning. Our finance team continues to be busy over the last month, particularly processing property tax payments. I'd like to remind our residents that our helpful staff are available to answer any questions regarding the low-income tax reduction application and tax payment arrangements. I'd like to make a motion that my report be accepted as presented.
Okay, so moved, seconded
Second.
by Councillor Lori Dyson. Any discussion on the report? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Councillor. None against? Carried. Okay, you have
I have
just a cou-
35.
Just a couple of recommendations?
35, but I will do them as expediently as possible.
Thank you.
First one, interest write-off, par ID 5WING001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024, uncollectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends that council approve the write-off of interest in the total amount of $3,234.26 relating to interest from 2019 for water and sewer fees.
Okay,
Second.
so moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against? Motion carried.
Okay, interest write-off par ID ACREP001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024, uncollectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off for the total amount of $93.24 relating to interest on a water turn on-off from 2018.
So moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. None against.
Okay, interest write-off par ID AIRB 007. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024, uncollectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $589.17, interest of $1,197.13, for a total amount of $1,786.30 relating to business tax from 2017. Taxes were consolidated, paid 2019 and forward.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion? None being heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none against. Motion carried.
Interest write-off par ID AIRB 008. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $6,690.60, interest of $11,606.63, in the total amount of $18,327.23 relating to business tax from 2017. Taxes were consolidated and paid 2019 and forward.
So moved, seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against. Motion carried.
Interest write-off par ID AIRBO 009. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024, uncollectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of interest in the total amount of $8,396.53 relating to business tax from 2017. Taxes were consolidated and paid 2019 and forward.
So moved, seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against. Motion carried.
Interest write-off par ID AIRBO 010. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of interest in the total amount of $1,036.40 relating to business tax from 2017. Taxes were consolidated and paid 2019 and forward.
Okay, motion's order. Call for seconder.
I'll second.
seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against. Motion's carried.
Interest write-off par ID BIGLA 004 in accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy. Administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $25.66, interest of $31.20, for a total amount of $56.86 relating to water usage fee from 2014.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Councilor Winters. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against. Motion's carried.
Interest write-off par ID G0J0C001 in accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy. Administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $37.95, interest of $13.75, and the total amount of $51.04 related to tipping fee from 2022. Business is closed.
Okay, so moved. Or motion. Do I have a seconder? Seconder, Councilor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we've
Okay.
lost Councilor Williams for now. We'll get her back on the line now shortly. Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Okay, none against? Motion's carried.
Okay, interest write-off par ID GHCO001 in accordance with Finance Policy F0024 uncollectible accounts receivable policy. Administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $22.60, interest of $23.20, and the total amount of $45.80 relating to tipping fee from 2015.
So moved. Seconded by Councilor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, Councilor Williams. You're back online. Okay, motion's carried, none against.
Interest write-off par ID GILLD 001 in accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy. Administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $150, interest of $92.28, and the total amount of $242.28 from 2017 for water and sewer fee.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Councilor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none against. Motion carried.
Interest write-off par ID HEAVY 001 in accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy. Administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $11.50, interest of $9, and the total amount of $20.50.
30, 50.
Yeah, Mr., can we get a,
You're missing 20 cents.
2090? Okay, my math, principal of 1150, interest of 9, should be 2050.
okay.
I'm just gonna wait for confirmation.
That is 21.10.
Okay, so what are my two figures, Mr. Malik? Principal of
Total amount is going to be 21.10.
2110?
Yes.
Okay, and what would be my principal amount?
Principal amount is going to be 1130 and interest is going to be $9.80.
980, okay.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna read this again, sorry, because we don't have a seconder or a motion made yet.
No.
Par ID HEAVY 001 in accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy. Administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $11.30, interest of $9.80, and the total amount of $21.10 relating to tipping fee from 2017. Business is closed.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by
I'll
Councilor Odell. Any discussion? None against? No discussion, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
None against?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Interest write-off par ID HIBBL 001 in accordance with Finance Policy F0024 uncollectible accounts receivable policy. Administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $11.30, interest of $9.80, in the total amount of $20.90. Again, I have a discrepancy, so I'm going to get Mr. Malik to,
That is going to be $21.10.
so they're both 2110?
I got the wrong figure previously, so for
Okay.
the previous one, we have $20.50.
2050, okay. So it was 1150 and 9, okay. So we're gonna go back and
So we have to, in terms of the
do a
previous
friendly
motion-
amendment?
Yeah, we can go back to the,
Okay.
to the previous,
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my previous, and then we'll continue on with the new one. So 1.11, interest write-off par ID HEAVY 001. I'd like to make a friendly amendment that we make a motion that in
just
accordance.
a point of order, just rescind it and just.
Okay,
yeah, put a
so
motion
do we
to-
have to vote to rescind?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that we rescind the motion for $21.10 for par ID HEAVY 001.
Okay, who
I'll
seconded
second.
that? It was seconded by? Okay,
Counselor Odell.
Okay, so you're okay with the rescind?
Rescind.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Any discussion? None? Okay, call for vote to rescind? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion's carried.
Okay, so for item 1.11, interest write-off par ID HEAVY 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $11.50, interest of $9, in the total amount of $20.50 relating to tipping fee from 2017. Business is closed.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. No, any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None
Aye.
against, motion's carried. Next one,
Okay.
please.
Interest write-off par ID HIBBL 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $11.30, interest of $9.80, and the total amount of $21.10 relating to tipping fee from 2015.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against, motion's carried.
Okay, before I begin 1.13, I'm going to look to Mr. Malik and get the total amount, please. Because the two figures there don't add up to the total that I have.
Should be 97.35.
That is going to be 97.35.
Okay, thank you. Interest write-off par ID KELVI 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $63.25, interest of $34.10, and the total amount of $97.35 relating to tipping fee from 2020 out-of-town business that cannot be verified.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion's carried.
Interest write-off par ID UNIVE 008. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 on collectible accounts receivable policy, administration recommends council approve the write-off of principal of $151.80, interest of $96.44, and the total amount of $248.24 relating to tipping fee from 2019 and 2020. Business is closed.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Winters. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion's carried.
Interest write-off par ID YVONN 001. In In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off of principal of $402.50, interest of $235.28, and the total amount of $637.78 relating to arena advertising from 2020, no longer MP.
Okay, so moved, seconded by
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? I just wanted to add, I'm not sure why we would name the individual in this. This should be
Yeah.
discreet. So there was only one MP prior during this period of time, so.
Other side of the coin is,
all right, so,
Why was it
all right, we'll
vague?
call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion's carried.
Tax write-off par ID ASTAL 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off of the total amount of $864 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion's carried.
Tax write-off par ID BRENC 002. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off of the total amount of $145.53 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against, motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID COZYC 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off of the total amount of $414.58 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID DEPAR 005. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off of the total amount of $40.39 relating to interest only.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Have we lost you, Counselor Williams?
No, I'm here.
Okay, did you vote?
yea or nay?
Yeah, I said aye.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, none against, motion's carried.
Tax write-off par ID DEPTS 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $52.80 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Winters. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against, the motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID GOLFC 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $541.50 relating to interest only.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against, the motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID GREA 001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $226.30 relating to interest only.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous, motion's carried.
Tax write-off par ID HILLC 003. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $1,783.44 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Winters. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID ICEWO003. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $961.92 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Tyson. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion's carried.
Tax write-off par ID LEGEN001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $462.24 relating to interest only.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against, motion carried.
Tax write-off par ID MINSA001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $209.35 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion carried.
Tax write-off par ID MUTRE001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $432 relating to interest only.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Winters. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion's carried.
Tax write-off par ID NORTH055. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $129.60 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, the motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID OMEGA001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $115.20 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, the motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID PASCA001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $448.56 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by
I'll
Counselor Winters. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, the motion is carried.
Tax write-off par ID RUSSQ001. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $360 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion carried.
Tax write-off par ID SHEAR002. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $878.15 relating to interest only.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Winters. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Tax write-off par ID THETI002. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 Uncollectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $78.10 relating to interest only.
Okay, so moved, seconded by
I'll second.
Counselor Dyson.
Do it in order, we'll do it in order.
Any discussion? No discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against, motion carried.
Tax write-off, par ID UNITE 007. In accordance with Finance Policy F0024 and Collectible Accounts Receivable Policy, Administration recommends Council approve the write-off in the total amount of $108 relating to interest.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion? No discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against, motion is carried.
Donation request, Mealy Mountain Collegiate Safe Prom. The Finance, Administration, and Policy Committee recommends Council approve a cash donation to the Mealy Mountain Collegiate Safe Prom to a maximum of $500. Actually, I'm going to reword that. Approve a donation. Yep.
Conflict. My daughter's in.
Are you on the committee, though?
I'm not on the committee, no.
She's graduating?
Yes.
I think you're stretching it, but
No, but I
it's
just,
up to you if you could declare, if you want to declare.
yeah, I'll
conflict.
declare conflict.
Okay, Councillor Winters has declared a conflict. Okay.
Okay. Donation request, Mealy Mountain Collegiate Safe Prom. The Finance, Administration, and Policy Committee recommends Council approve a cash donation to the Mealy Mountain Collegiate Safe Prom of $500.
Second that.
Okay, so moved, seconded by
I'll third that.
Councillor Dyson. Okay, any discussion? No discussion? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Councillor Williams?
Yeah, aye.
Okay, thank you. None against, motion's carried. Okay, thank you,
That is
Councillor.
everything
That's,
for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, that's 35 recommendations, that's,
42 minutes.
yeah.
Congratulations.
And I went as fast as I possibly
You were fast,
could.
yes.
You were, you done good.
Okay, thank you. Moving right along, community planning and development, and Councillor Dyson, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Community Development and Planning Report for April involves a lot of training and online meetings. The Climate Adaptation and Resilience training was completed. The Quest Canada Energy Conscious Community Training was completed. Policy Respectful Workplace Training with Higher Talent was done, and the Strategic Planning Session with EDA&L. Those were training and online. There were in-person meetings with the president of Memorial University, Janet Morrison, the Destination Labrador AGM, the meeting with the Central Labrador YMCA, of course, the Tourism Accommodation Tax meeting with both Destination Labrador and representatives from the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce, the NORAD, Northern Basin Infrastructure meeting with the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay took place, and the Happy Valley Goose Bay Community Housing Visioning with municipalities NL. There was various events, including the MNL Labrador Regional Meetings and the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce Immigration Summit. Margaret was actually a panelist on that and did a wonderful job. Some of the regular tasks, of course, is ongoing updates with the town's calendar and social media pages, and the live streaming of the council meetings and videos, and them being uploaded to the town YouTube. With the planning department, there continues to be a lot of mapping and data and the updates. There's a constant review of the civic numbering system for the town. A lot of work on public procurement files, the different amendments to the plan. There's an influx of discretionary land use applications, as you will see in the recommendations, which is exactly what we wanted to see. A number of Crown Lands application assistance, and assisting in the bus implementation and various resident inquiries. And I ask that you accept that report.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Winters. Any discussion on the report? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor of the report?
Aye.
Aye.
None against? Carried. And you have a number of recommendations as well.
Not as many as Councillor Rumbold.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, they're not as boring as hers. Okay, Let's start off. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that council provide approval in principle to the rezoning of an area along Juniper Street from residential low-density 1 to mixed use to enable the development of a counseling clinic.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Counselor Rumble. Any discussion?
So this is in a residential area,
Correct?
and they're looking to rezone it to make it a commercial.
Or mixed that would
No,
allow for...
it would be
Um,
mixed.
Mixed for, yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So has anybody consulted with the neighborhood?
I think from the discussion from the committee to whole, we haven't had an update since.
No.
But I believe that consultation would take place after the zoning
Yes.
would be approved, or council would approve it. The use is something that would come after.
And then it would go to the public.
Yeah, that was our understanding based on the information that was brought forward by the town engineer during our
I
committee
believe,
hall meeting.
if I recall, we asked him if he could get some more information on this
Correct, yeah.
recommendation.
Mhm.
So probably we shouldn't even be voting on it tonight, because we didn't receive any additional information.
So this was still discretionary, correct? Even though we rezoned this?
It's discretionary, yeah.
My mistake.
Counselor Rumble.
Just to the deputy mayor's point, just wanted to mention that if we do not vote on it, you must keep in mind that we only have a certain amount of time. If we don't respond, Crown Lands will go ahead as a non-response.
And
They
they'll
take
go
a
in
non-response as an approval.
But this
So
isn't
we
a-
have to vote on it, but this is just voting for an agreement in principle. The wording is that, it's just, an approval in principle, and it's not approving,
The actual bill.
Yeah.
right,
No.
it's an approval
I
in
understand.
principle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. Just make, yeah.
I mean, I got a concern with providing approval in principle of rezoning a residential area to allow for mixed development in the sense that in the motion, it says to enable the development of a counseling clinic. I don't think we can restrict what can go in a mixed zone. So if a counseling clinic does not materialize, and that area is rezoned, then it opens up the door for multiple uses, not just a counseling clinic, and I think that's my concern with that. Anybody else in the comment? Councilor Odell?
Yeah, and I think that's the discussion we had during the committee as a whole as well, is whether, how far this extends down on Juniper Street. And I know that, and again, with the information that we received, the property that's there, it's nowhere near, I don't think, any other residential area, but this is not for a specific piece of property, it's for the rezoning of that whole street.
That was my understanding
Yeah.
as well.
So I just a question, making this, I guess, discretionary, would that change whether the council has discretionary rights to say what goes in certain?
Yeah, it's not really discretionary, though, it's
No.
just approval in principle to
Yeah.
rezone. It is up to councils
What to
to
rezone
decide,
it as?
of course, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Any other discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor of the
Did we
motion?
get a seconder?
Yep.
Yes, we had a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Call for a vote, all in favor? Okay,
I am,
none in favor, all against?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion is defeated.
Okay, second recommendation, the Community Planning and Development Committee recommends the following names: Anderson Crescent, Party Street, Mugford Street, Shepherd Street, and Best Avenue.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder?
second.
Seconded by Councilor Odell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
None against? Councilor Williams?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. None against? Okay, the motion is carried. Next one, please.
Okay, this is
I
a,
have to declare a conflict in this one, Mayor?
oh, yes.
Deputy Mayor declares a conflict in this as you're involved with the development
I'm the
itself.
Deputy Director of the Housing Coalition, which is in that area.
Okay, thank you.
All right, the Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that council provide approval in principle to the rezoning of an area along Kellen Drive in the west of Heffler subdivision area from residential varied density to residential multi-unit, and that's to enable the development of a personal care facility.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Counselor Winters. Any discussion? Counselor Odell?
I just got one question with regards to this one here, and it's rezoned as residential multi-unit to enable the development of the personal care facility. So again, the personal care facility would be considered a multi-unit apartment complex, or is this something?
It would be a housing, it still is a housing.
Still considered housing?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Just wanted to make sure that it meets the criteria of what it is that we're rezoning it as.
Yes, and this is all in line with the long-term goal of that entire area for
Yes,
seniors
correct.
development.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against. The motion's carried, and Deputy Mayor will come back to her seat.
Okay, the next one. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 1115725 on the condition that only non-permanent entities, fences are erected on this land and access to the existing road is uninterrupted.
Okay, so moved. We have a seconder. Counselor Rumbold. Any discussion?
No, this is just, this is for the Newfoundland Labrador Hydro, and this is in, down in the corner. right? Yeah.
So this,
All right. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against. Motion's carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 13 Morris Crescent. Are we supposed to have names in there?
I'd skip it.
That will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by
I'll second it.
Counselor Rumbold. Okay, any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
The Community Planning
Just,
and,
just to ex-
Where this is a short-term rental,
correct?
I think it's okay to owns the property.
Okay,
Same as a home-based business.
right. Yeah, okay, okay,
Okay.
all right.
okay.
Yeah, because they're not incorporated, they don't have a business name, so they operate as Mr. and Mrs. Smith or whatever,
Okay,
yeah, okay.
All right. So, is it necessary to we haven't called for a vote yet? Yeah, okay, all right. We'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none against. Motion's carried. Next one, please.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 60 Cartwright Road, where Tracy McLean will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation called Hosted by Tracy, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
So moved, seconded
I'll
by
second that.
Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Councilor Rumbold?
No, I was just gonna point out that, further to what, our EA had said, that, these are presently listed on the tourism accommodation site as those names, so that would be, I guess the first one didn't have a name, and the other ones do, but, yeah, they would be listed on that tourism site as the way that they are stated here.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion? No comments? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against? Carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 60 Hamilton River Road, where Roberta Primer will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation called Grand River B&B, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions, and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? Okay, no discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against, the motion's carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 19 Blake Drive, where Cassandra Blake will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved, seconded by?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none against, the motion's carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 20 Palliser Crescent, where Brenda Harvey will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation called Pop's Place, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against, the motion is carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 8 Hale Street, where Grant Patey will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved. Any, do need a seconder? Seconded by Counselor Odell. Any comments? Okay, no comments. Call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against, the motion is carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 61740, located at 41 Grenfell Street, on the condition that future development complies with the town development regulations.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by
I'll second.
Counselor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against. The motion is carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 51 10th Street, where Caroline Davis will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by
I'll second that.
Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against. The motion is carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 29 Mesher Street, where Darren Buckle will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion? No discussion. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against. Motion's carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the home-based business application at 60 Saunders Street, where Karen Tararick will operate a home-based hair salon business called Studio 60, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion?
I think there's a typo in her name, but
Her last name.
Yes, I believe there is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
correct. Yeah. All right, we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 None against? Motion carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 10 Martin Crescent, where Darren Buckle will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Winters. Any discussion? Okay, no discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion's carried.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the discretionary land use application at 8 Mackenzie Drive, where Darren Buckle will operate a home-based business for short-term rental accommodation, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Winters. No discussion?
I just wanted to point out that all of these, short-term rental, it's really good to see all of them coming forward, and we expect some more to come as well.
Okay, so we'll call for a vote first, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right.
Aye.
Okay, I should have asked for discussion, no other discussion, right? Okay. All right, motion's carried. Thank you, Counselor, and, that's,
Plenty one, too.
it's a lot, which is great to see.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
See how much faster I am than you, Denise?
Okay, so we'll move on into, protective services, no recommendations. Do you have a report, Deputy Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So we met on April the 14th for the committee of the whole, and, from the report, I see Brian Davis is, the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan Project Coordinator, Project Manager. He continues to work on a community safety plan. I'm thinking that he'll have it, ready by July. I'm encouraging the community to, make sure you fill out those surveys. Very important. You wanna, voice your concerns around public safety. Now's your chance to get it into your recommendations, suggestions, whatever you wanna put into this, plan. And, make sure, you know, you get a hold of Brian Davis. There's survey paper copies here at the town. There's surveys online. So it's important that you, participate if, you know, you wanna be, to improve public safety in our community. The critter was held on, Saturday. I'll ask Mr. Butley after I present my report how that went. Moving violations, we continue to advocate for our municipal enforcement officer every opportunity we get with a minister or any government official. We continue to advocate that we think it's very, very important that our municipal enforcement officer have be able to, have his moving violations so that he can ticket and monitor the safety of the community, because, right now, there's no one doing it, so we will continue to advocate. We met with the RCMP on April the 9th. We'll continue to meet with the RCMP, so we have open dialogue, open communication. We voice our concerns with the RCMP. So we'll continue meeting with them as a council. Public safety, I'm anxious to see what's in that budget tomorrow from the provincial government, because they campaigned on public safety. The Premier campaigned heavily on public safety. We have not communicated with them regarding public safety in this community, and as we can see, public safety is still an issue here. With the weather warming up, we're seeing a lot more people out, and I encourage anybody out there that sees any illegal activity to contact the RCMP. There was one thing there, Mayor, and I don't know if anybody else seen it, it's in the package of correspondence from CFIB. It was received on April the 14th. This is the first I'm seeing of it today. It's from the Canadian Federation Independent Business. It's a non-profit, nonpartisan organization representing the interests of 103 small and medium-sized enterprises across Canada, including 1,700 members in Newfoundland and Labrador. CFB is launching an initiative in Labrador to address the growing concern of crime impacting small businesses. Our goal is to encourage business owners to report crime consistently and to sign a petition urging the Minister of Justice to prioritize crime prevention and enforcement measures. So there is a petition, so we can discuss this later, but I just wanted to include it in my report because it is part of correspondence. So that is my report. I ask you that you accept my report as presented.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second that.
For a second, or seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion on the report?
Just, Mayor, that I think this is important, this correspondence, that, as the Protective Service Committee and the whole council, Mr. Butler, if we can have a discussion around this, correspondence that we received, how we can move forward with it. It's a petition included in there, so, and it's talking about, you know, meeting with businesses and, a strong, unified voice from business community and like people like the municipality and partners in the community. So I think it's important that we not have that off the radar and that we discuss it at some point.
Right, and we can respond to that letter directly, if council's in agreement with that.
And I just wanted to ask Mr. Butler how.
There were people that came with their animals, but I was told it wasn't as busy as previous years. So
Hopefully that means that they're all registered already.
let's hope so.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All right, motion's carried. Okay, moving right along to municipal services. Counselor Williams, I know you're out of town. Is there anything you'd like to add, like to say from your department?
Sure, I do have a report prepared, but just wondering if everybody can hear me well.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So municipal services continues to manage significant amount of operational and infrastructure work across our community. Engineering continues overseeing a number of ongoing capital planning initiatives, supporting long-term municipal planning needs. Current work includes infrastructure coordination, continued review of civic numbering throughout the town. Reminder to get your residences numbered if you don't already have that done, and digitizing historical mapping and records to improve long-term planning. Public Works continues maintaining core municipal operations, including road maintenance, seasonal operations, of course, with our spring thaw, fleet upkeep, and support for municipal infrastructure and facilities. Reports continue to reflect ongoing pressures associated with some aging equipment, fleet maintenance requirement, and increasing operational demands as the town continues to grow, and as we know, it's going to continue to grow going forward. Environmental services, maintaining stable operations across water treatment, wastewater treatment, sewer collection, and water distribution. Staff continue carrying out daily monitoring, testing, repairs, maintenance, and regulatory compliance work to ensure safe and reliable service throughout the community. Overall, systems continue operating normally with continued focus on preventative maintenance. Transit services, we did get another report about transit. We do continue to see strong community usage of our bus. Monthly and annual ridership numbers continue to demonstrate that public transit is definitely filling an important need within our community. There are still some glitches with the system. However, usage is continuing to grow. Long-term planning around that sustainability and supporting that infrastructure is going to be important considerations moving forward, and I know that we're working towards the charging station. But overall, the report reflects a department balancing day-to-day operational delivery and long-term planning needs for the future growth of the community. I ask you to please accept my report as delivered.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion on the report?
Mayor,
Deputy Mayor?
she talked about the transit, the bus, and we all know that there's issues, and we all know that when the bus started, we knew there was going to be some growing pains. There seems to be issues around the app and waiting times for the riders, and I've asked now several times that we meet to discuss this, so I believe we are going to meet now when the CAO gets back.
Correct.
So I think this is important, and we can't let it go on, because I bring it up every meeting, that we should meet and see if there's a way that we can iron out some of the kinks.
Yep. Any other discussion? I'll just add to that, yes, I mean, when we took on the bus last year, we had indicated we'd give it a year, and we'd look at it and try and fine tune things. You know, it's not perfect, but based on the report that's coming from the provider for the app itself, I believe there was 1,400 rides in the month of February. So it's widely used. So it's a great asset to the community. My fear is that it's gonna wear out before we get a lot of use out of it in terms of years. But it's a great asset to the community. Charging station should be up and running soon, I'm told. So looking forward to that, and that's a great investment to the community as well. But looking forward to that discussion so we can try and fine tune these things, and yeah.
I think it's great too that there's been some wheelchair users on that. So that's good to hear.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No,
Okay,
I'd just like to add,
Councillor Winters?
I think it's serving its purpose.
Correct. Thank you.
Absolutely.
No other discussion? Okay, call for a vote to accept the report.
Aye.
Councillor Williams?
I didn't know I voted to accept my own report.
Oh,
but
yeah,
yes.
you have to vote on it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Jay,
All right, none against, the motion is carried to accept the report. Okay, moving right into Community Service and Recreation, and Councillor Winters.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an overview of the month of March, as I do every month, is because the reports don't come in until April, and this is what we report on. Action items, Mealy Mountain Soccer Field, no update because everything is going to be coming together when the snow leaves us. Summary of operations, Labrador Winter Games. The Labrador Winter Games took place from March 8th to 14th. The event was a tremendous success and was a very busy time for the CSR department. The work to host these games started a couple weeks before. The opening ceremonies, transportation of flooring, and the regular operations had to stop for 2 weeks. CSR team has done an amazing work preparing the arena for the Labrador Winter Games, maintaining the facility during the games with events at the arena every day, and bringing the facility open for regular operation. It would not have been possible without the team's commitment. Once again, Happy Valley-Goose Bay had a great games. They competed competitively in all mandatory events and the 5 optional sports. They finished 4th overall, but had a chance to bring the cup home until the last day. Our team coordinator, Adam Call, did a great job supporting the athletes during the week. He may consider coming back for the next games. And congratulations to the winning team and all the teams, and I hope they enjoyed the games and their time in our community. Towns in Tune. A town contingent consisting of CSR Director, Mayor, and musicians Jacinda Beals and Richard Neville just returned from Beaufort, South Carolina, to develop the first stage of the program. This is an ongoing program, and we will be hosting a contingent from Beaufort, South Carolina in late August. Ribfest, we have started advertising the dates during the Labrador Winter Games on our digital screens. We want the public to be aware of the dates. We have started the planning, working on sound for the event, and approaching potential performers. The YMCA annual campaign, no meeting this month. The meetings were canceled due to members' availability. Age-friendly community action plan. Our program coordinator has sent an invitation to the individuals and organizations that had shown interest in the past to be part of the committee. The first meeting will include discussions around terms of reference. Funding. CSR Director is currently working on a COA application to hire a consultant to update the facility audit report that was completed in 2024 for the E.J. Bloomfield Memorial Arena. Since that report's publication, the town has invested in the facility to enhance its services and to extend the facility's lifespan. An updated report would allow the town to make better informed decisions regarding the future of the facility. We have no updates regarding our applications for Canada Summer Jobs and the Government Newfoundland Labrador Summer Employment Program. Sports Hall of Fame, we did not receive an answer from our MHA as of date of report. Department are following up with him. After school program, the program is not yet resumed. We will reevaluate the possibility after the Easter break. Regional Wellness Coalition, the steering committee met on March 5th. There were more people attended this meeting than the previous one. The coalition talked about the number of funding requests they received. The focus on April will be on Nutrition Month, and they plan 6 online sessions. The new promotional items with the new logo will be available soon, which can be requested for different events. The website continues to be developed, and we hope to launch soon. Sexual health for teenagers was highlighted as a need. The coalition will help with teachers with teaching aids. The next meeting will be in 3 months. Volunteer Appreciation Week. An email was sent out to community partners, over 40 organizations, to nominate volunteers. and we published the invitation to submit nominations on our social media platforms. The names were collected on digital form. The manager of community development highlighted the nominees during National Volunteer Week, April 19th to 25th. And just a note, if you notice on social media, there's a tremendous amount of volunteers that were identified, and I'd like to say thank you to every one of them. M&L and PMA presentations, PowerPoints assembled with pictures showcasing the town's investment and support for healthy living. Central Labrador Wellness Center, BICA, Kingston Park Bike Trail. Mayor Pomeroy presented at the M&L PMA regional meeting. Facilities and equipment, arena needs arena daily cleanup, ice maintenance, repairs, and operations are in place at the arena. The hosting of Labrador Winter Games increased the workload. Overall, the staff done a wonderful job during the Labrador Winter Games, prior to and post. The Randy Hansen Hockey Tournament took place during Easter weekend. The under-7s and under-19s had a great day to finish their season. No issues were reported. The Jiggy 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 Goose 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 sign. As per the new advertising policy, a new sign was designed. It has been shared with the user group and no feedback was received. We will have the sign produced and have it installed in front of the players' bench after the ice season. The outdoor skating loop was open during the month of March. Weather made it difficult to maintain, and the Labrador Winter Games limited the availability of staff to ensure its quality. Audio system. There are still some minor issues, mainly around isolation and access. CSR director has reached out to the supplier for additional support. The central clock. CSR director followed up with user groups and did not receive any commitment at this time from any of them. An application to IGA, International Credit Association, was completed. No update as of this report. Facility audit. Working on the funding application to acquire funds to complete the project. We received a budget estimate from the previous consultant to use for the application. Cloudstrom, CSR director, is working on funding application. Staff met with an engineer to acquire budget estimates on the design to make it more user-friendly regarding hosting purposes. Curling Club, the end of the season is planned for the first week of May. When the new equipment arrives, we will schedule work to replace the brine pump. Reconel Regional Conference will take place this year in Happy Valley-Goose Bay, June 8th to 10th. We will attend and send as many staff as possible when sessions are relevant. Staffing and training. With the Labrador Winter Games, we did not have much opportunity to attend training. We now have several staff members requesting time off. We will also be transitioning, we've also transitioned to turf, and we will resume training in May. We are searching for nonviolent intervention and de-escalation training. We would like staff to be more confident and effective when intervening with patrons that don't respect our facility or leave children without proper supervision. System reports, no report for this month. Events coming up, April 29th, which is tomorrow, start of the indoor soccer season. May 4th to 10th, end of curling club season. May 15th to the 17th, the Junior Lab Cup. May 20th to 22nd, Atlantic Recreation Facility Conference, Halifax. And May 27th to the 31st, Labrador Senior Lab Cup. I have one recommendation, and please accept report as presented.
Okay, so move to accept the report. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Odell. Any discussion on the report? Okay, no discussion. Call for a vote to accept the report. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against. The report is carried. The motion's carried. You have one recommendation, Councillor?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. The Community Service and Recreation Department recommends renaming or including the Gordon Winston Rundle to Husky Park. The Community Service and Recreation Committee recommends council have staff conduct more research and seek feedback from the community before making any decision.
Okay, so we have a recommendation for staff to seek more information before proceeding with any renaming of the park. We have a seconder for that, Councillor Odell. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'm just wondering, there's no time frame on this. It just says staff are gonna seek research, more information. And this is the 75th softball year anniversary. So I would not want this to go past the season. Like, if you're gonna do research, then they should do it in a timely manner.
Okay.
And I,
Coincide with the ball.
Yeah, so
In saying that, I think they have pretty much till August, because the last time they done anything with the 50th anniversary, it was held in the third week of August.
Correct.
So they do have a few months, so I think maybe a recommendation, go back to CSR director and give them a timeline of, say, probably the end of, or mid.
To come with a
Yeah,
recommendation on
probably,
which way to go.
yeah, have your information by, say, July 1st.
Okay.
And that will give council plenty of time to address the recommendation.
Any other comments? Being none heard, call for a motion, or call for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. None
Aye.
against? Not, okay, thank you, Counselor. None against? Okay, motion's carried to seek further information. Okay, so, moving right into the approval of checks, and I will ask Counselor Rumble to bring forward a motion to approve the checks, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to make a motion that we accept checks in the total amount of $813,996.83 for the month of April, please.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Counselor Odell. Any discussion on the checks? Okay, none heard. Call for a motion to approve the checks. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none against? Okay, the motion is approved. All right, so now we'll move to Counselor's Forum, moving right along today.
Yeah.
So I'll look to Counselor Odell.
Oh, yeah. Not a whole lot for me this time, but I would like to reach out. Let me get on the right page here. Okay, so first of all, I'll start off with the YMCA again. Just for the community to recognize that the YMCA is a considerable great asset that the town has at its doorsteps. They had some great plans for memberships. Last month they had a Bring a Buddy campaign where full-time members could bring a buddy for 7 days free of cost to get a feel for the Y, what it could do for them and whatnot, and what amenities that you can avail of. So it was a great initiative, I think, from the YMCA to bring in additional people to look at the Y. I hope they bring some more initiatives like that in the future, just to get people aware of those assets we have. So good on the Y for doing that. On behalf of the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, I would like to extend the condolences to the Pittman family for the passing of Mr. Aaron Pittman at the age of 83. He passed in April. His family is well known here and has been residents of this community for quite some time. So I'd just like to pass along condolences to the Pittman family. Also, something new I'm trying to do. The town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay would like to wish all those celebrating birthdays, anniversaries in the month of April a happy birthday and anniversary. We like to be inclusive and again let people be aware that we as a council and as a community do appreciate each and every one individual in this community. So just like to pass that along. Just on the safety note, spring runoff is occurring now. 16 degrees out today, a lot of snow melting. As you're driving around the streets, you can notice there are puddles of water. So for those that's driving, be cognizant of the people that's walking the streets, and if there's puddles around, slow down. Do not splash people, please. Everybody's walking, enjoying the weather. People have to drive, obviously, but if you're driving, be cognizant of the water puddles. Slow down. Try to avoid the water if possible to prevent people from getting wet. And also with the walking trails and the bike trails, just a note for those that's out and about, that the trails are becoming apparent now. Snow is melting, access to those trails and the bike trail is slowly coming around. It is a walking trail and a biking trail, not an ATV use trail. So just for the public's awareness, that if you're on ATVs, side-by-sides, four-wheelers or motorcycles, stay off the bike trail, please. It is for bikes, non-motorized bikes, and walking purposes only. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Rumble.
Stop.
Leave her to relax.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, so I have a few things on my list, and Councilor Dyson will shoot me some looks as I'm going through. Spring has sprung. There are a lot of scooters on the roads again. So just a friendly reminder to our residents to slow down. The scooters travel sometimes at a high rate of speed. We have noticed that there are some youth that are not wearing helmets. So reminder to parents, have the conversation with your kids about wearing their helmets, and to drivers to use extra caution. Wanted to say it's so great to see the lights being worked on uptown. We will soon have our walk, don't walk activator working. So it's a short-term inconvenience for drivers, but in the long term, it will really improve safety in that area of town. Along with safety, I wanted to talk about, Deputy Mayor mentioned in her report about reporting crimes, making sure to report crimes. I had a great experience at my office yesterday with the RCMP showing up very quickly for a disturbance involving public intoxication. And so they will respond, but they can't respond to a social media complaint. You have to actually pick up the phone and call. Cleanup time. People are starting to clean up around their properties, and I just wanted to take a minute to remind people to be fire safe when you're cleaning up. We have seen some areas of the island portion of our province where there have already been brush fires. What happens is people start to clean up around their properties, and they decide they're going to burn their grass or burn some twigs, and the next thing you know, it can get out of control. So just a reminder that as you're cleaning up around your property, to be fire safe. Just a couple other things. Wanted to mention, we gave a donation to the Safe Prom Committee. So prom is coming up, and we want to make sure that all the youth out there have a safe and enjoyable night. I'm sure they've been lectured many, many times by their parents, but if you're out and you need a ride, call somebody. I'm sure somebody's going to come and get you, and to have a safe and enjoyable experience. And Councilor Odell mentioned condolences. I just had two that I wanted to mention. I'm sure there will be others, as we all know different people in the community. The passing of Phil Morris, who was my next door neighbor and a wonderful man, long-term volunteer with the United Church congregation here in Happy Valley-Goose Bay, and could often be seen doing some beautification work at our local cemetery. So Mr. Morris, to his family, I'd like to offer condolences. And the other one is Mrs. Olive Broomfield. I sat at the council table next to Councillor Hayward Broomfield, and he was very dedicated to the care of his mother. He actually would work diligently as a member of the 13th Council to bring attention to the needs of the residents in the long-term care and the needs for greater long-term care. So we were very saddened to hear of his mother's passing. So condolences to Hayward and to all the members of the Broomfield family. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Councillor Dyson.
I'm impressed, Councilor Rumble. Yeah, we've lost a lot of community members, a lot of names in Labrador. Mrs. Hazel Newhook is one of them. Susanna Roberts, Trudy Bakey of Nain, Fraser Rich just passed away in Riglet, Matthew Panunzi in Sheshashi, a staple at the arena, Amelia LaValle, who spent a lot of time there. Condolences to Councillor Rumboldt's family on the loss of Gloria and Chant, very well known. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the one and only Dean Burden, who was the epitome of the Labrador Winter Games, who had a very courageous battle with brain cancer. So condolences to all of those family members. A couple of things I wanted to point out. If anybody sees the graduates going around town with goggles, floaties, life jackets, and water pistols, it's all part of the grad assassin game. This is not just indicative. It's not something that's happening only in Goose Bay. It's all over the country. So when you see somebody going down the road with a couple of floaties on, or a set of goggles, or a snorkel and a water gun, It's all part of a graduate thing that's happening across the country. I'd like to throw some thanks out to Sandy Blake, who put off a tournament, a hockey tournament here that was the best I've ever seen, and I've seen quite a few tournaments. The teams that came into this tournament, they chartered a plane and came to this tournament because that was what they thought was the only way that they'd ever get to Labrador. And the response that they got here, they've never seen anything like it. Everybody was met by a bunch of youngsters at the airport with signs, with cheers as they were getting off of the flight. The hospitality room, Clyde's room, I actually had a gentleman that said if he would have known, he would not have booked a hotel. He would have took a sleeping bag and slept in Clyde's room because there was enough food there to feed his entire community, and the hospitality was second to none. And Sandy worked for months at that. So kudos to her and her team. The only other thing I'd like to mention, of course, is the upcoming Junior Lab Cup and the Senior Lab Cup. Go Chase-On's Dogs. And we've got an up-and-coming young team that all played in the Junior Lab Cup last year that are playing in the Senior Lab Cup. And I insulted Carlos Spearing by saying they're going to be the next Chase-On Dogs. And he says, no, they're not. They're going to be the next Lewis Concrete. But we'll see. They will be the team to beat in a couple of years for sure. So get out and watch some Lab Cup soccer.
Great. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Winters.
Yeah, I'll just keep this real short. I think everybody's, when you go last, everyone kind of says everything, but condolences to all the families that have lost people this past month. And just one other thing is, like I say, April, we're just finishing up Volunteer Week. Thank you to all the volunteers. Brad is here from the fire department. Thank you guys. Dion, you're a volunteer firefighter. Can't express enough how much we all appreciate the work that you do. And everybody that was mentioned, and those that are not mentioned. We have Labrador Winter Games with over 300 volunteers every Winter Games. And when Councillor Dyson spoke of Sandy and her dedication to that, the Lake Melville Minor Hockey Association and the Minor Soccer Association, these run on volunteers, and the countless number of hours that these guys spend so that our kids can have something to do, so that our community is welcoming. It just shows just shows how great our community is with regards to volunteers and people dedicating their time to make this place a good place to live. And that's about it. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Williams, do you have anything you want to say?
I was really proud of myself because I decided that I was going to talk about, pivot and talk about something new, so I wasn't repeating myself, and two of you already talked about it, but I'll be very, very quick to say, I just want to remind residents that we're moving to spring thaw. Keep an eye on drainage around their properties, including culverts, storm drains, any areas where snow and ice buildup can block water flow. Time of year can change quickly, and we just want to prevent larger drainage so it doesn't become huge going on, because I know that town staff are doing what they can to monitor situations. So just a reminder there.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, everything I had written is already said. A couple things I got there. I was pleased to attend a Royal Masquerade Ball Saturday night representing the town. I think it's important that we have town representation at these events, and they appreciate it as well. So myself and Councillor Dyson did attend that Masquerade Ball, which was a really nice evening. I, of course, had the weather and safety and, keep an eye out now. There's a lot of scooters out there, a lot of bikes out there. You gotta have extra cautious this coming, moving forward with the warming of the weather. I'm anxious again to see that budget because the MOU is supposed to be signed by April 30th, which is 2 days. And on the way here today, I heard the Premier of Quebec talking about how she supported it. And if this goes ahead, our town is going to be booming in the coming months with the base and Gull Island. So It's gonna be interesting times ahead for sure. And I'll, just leave it at that, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Just a few things. Yes, the provincial budget coming down tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully, there's some good news for our community. We've been advocating since we've been elected for improved infrastructure and support from the provincial government based on the fact that we got a lot of stuff coming our way. The upgrades to the base, potential hydro developments on the river, and we've been stressing very vocally and through a lot of letters and anyone that would listen within the provincial and or federal system of the importance to ensure that our town is prepared and ready for these major developments. We have deteriorating infrastructure. As a community, we cannot do it alone. We need the support of both the federal and provincial governments to move forward on these things. Some of our roads are in pretty deplorable shape. And again, these are high, budget items that comes at a high cost, and hopefully the governments recognize that. Provincial government recognizes that. New fire hall. There's lots of things that we need in our community, and we need the support of the provincial government. And hopefully we'll get some good news tomorrow. So looking forward to hearing the budget. I hope I'm not going to be disappointed. Just want to note as well, I believe it hasn't been mentioned, I believe the judo club came back from provincials this past weekend and won 9 out of 10 medals, which is great. Congratulations to them. As Councillor Winters noted, I returned home last evening from a trip down South Carolina to the city of Beaufort. They call it Beaufort, we call it Beaufort, and in Quebec they call it Beaufort. So, but it's they refer to it as beautiful Beaufort by the Bay. So it's a very it's part of the Towns and Tune TV series. It's a unique public television series that runs that comes from South Carolina, hosted by South Carolina ETV, and it's aired on the PBS network. Will reach potentially 200 million viewers across the United States and Canada. The show dives into everything from music, food, history, stories of communities. It basically showcases a community from South Carolina with a community from Newfoundland and Labrador, and this year our community will be showcased. Beaufort really embraced the spirit of the show. The set, the atmosphere, the way the residents came out and support the taping throughout the whole week. It was all such a warm and welcoming and energetic feeling to be there. I also had a meet and greet with the mayor of Beaufort as part of a segment that's in the show, and he was very gracious and very, very pleased to see people from Canada come to his community. They love Canadians, and they welcome us. And he even presented me with a key to the city of Beaufort, which is something that I'm told doesn't happen very often. The town manager said in his years he can only recall of a key being presented twice. So here's the key here. I'd just like to pass around the council. And I would like, hopefully we can have that displayed somewhere in our town office, to remind us of the fact that we're so well appreciated. Our presence in Beaufort was very well received. But I guess the proudest part of the whole visit was seeing our own musicians and artists, take to the stage. Richard Neville, Jacinta Beals, Laura Taylor, they absolutely shone throughout their performances, represented our community very, very well, and very proud of what they've done. I think we've lost Councillor Williams. Sorry for talking too long.
9 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking forward to welcoming the production crew now this summer, and as well as musicians, representatives from the city of Beaufort, coming to our community to experience what we have to offer, and seeing the final production of Towns and Tune in 2027. So with that, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Okay, moved by Councillor.
I want to bring up one more point,
Okay.
just because if the people of the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay notice that the flags are at half-mast, it's due to the fact that it is a National Day of Mourning in Canada.
Okay.
So it's one thing we just want to bring the point, because it was asked why our flags are at half-mast. That is the reason why it's at half-mast.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
So moved. Hey, meeting adjourned.